This is a simple story for bedtime. Opening hook. Hello, my dear dreamer. Are you ready for a magical tale tonight? Snuggle in, Grandma Tilly has a brand new story. The Dragon of Whispering Woods. Do you hear the trees singing a lullaby as their branches sway and rock back and forth? How about some sparkling fireflies floating overhead, lighting up the night with their glow? And if you listen closely, you might just hear the sweet song of a tiny baby dragon. What adventures will our little friend have in the Whispering Woods? Will he make some magical new friends? And will he find the courage to face his fears? Come along as we discover the magic that awaits in the enchanting Whispering Woods. Let's begin. Act 1. Into the Enchanted Woods. Deep within the Whispering Woods, there was an old, gnarled tree with leaves like emeralds and roots that reached out like welcoming arms. One evening, a young girl named Tilly was reading a book under this very tree. The book glowed with an emerald light, and its pages whispered secrets only Tilly could hear. She felt a gentle touch on her shoulder and turned around to see an ethereal being with gossamer wings and eyes that twinkled like stars. "Greetings, child," the fairy said. "I am the guardian of these woods, and I have a special task for you." Tilly gasped as the fairy handed her a golden invitation. "Will you come with me on a journey through the Whispering Woods?" Tilly's heart raced with excitement as she looked at the golden invitation. It seemed to shimmer and pulse with an otherworldly energy. "Yes," she whispered, her voice filled with wonder. As soon as the words left her lips, the ground beneath them began to tremble, and the trees around them swayed rhythmically, forming a tunnel of emerald light. Tilly took a deep breath, her hand resting lightly on the book, and stepped into the magical portal created by the swaying trees. Suddenly, they were enveloped in a soft, billowing cloud that carried them higher and higher above the forest floor. From this vantage point, the towering trees of the Whispering Woods looked like an endless sea of green, their branches reaching towards the sky like the arms of giants. The air was filled with the sweet melody of birdsong and the gentle rustling of leaves, creating a symphony of tranquility that lulled Tilly into a sense of childlike wonder. Just when Tilly thought the journey couldn't be more enchanting, the cloud began to drift over a clearing, revealing a breathtaking sight before her eyes. In the center of the clearing stood a majestic oak tree, its branches heavy with shimmering acorns that sparkled like celestial jewels against the darkening sky. Beneath the oak tree lay a moss-covered stone that seemed to emanate a warm, inviting glow. As the cloud gently descended towards the moss-covered stone, Tilly could feel an overwhelming sense of peace and serenity wash over her. She knew instinctively that this was the place where the whispers of the woods held their greatest secrets and where magic danced hand in hand with nature's embrace. Then from behind the trunk of the ancient oak tree, a tiny figure emerged, its silhouette framed by the ethereal glow of the moss-covered stone. It was a baby dragon, no bigger than Tilly's teddy bear, with scales that shone like amethysts and wings that fluttered nervously. The dragon looked up at Tilly with eyes filled with fear and uncertainty, and a soft whimper escaped its tiny snout. Tilly's heart melted at the sight of the frightened dragon. She knew that whatever challenges the dragon faced, it needed her help and support to overcome them. With a gentle smile, Tilly reached out a hand, palm up, offering the dragon a comforting gesture. "Hello, little dragon," she whispered, her voice soft and soothing like the rustling of leaves in a summer breeze. As the baby dragon hesitated for a moment, its eyes darting nervously between Tilly and the whispering oak, Tilly remained still, her gaze unwavering in its warmth and kindness. This was the moment when the fate of the little dragon would turn, and Tilly's compassion was the guiding light that illuminated the path towards bravery. Act 2. Friendship and Empowerment. The baby dragon, whose name was Ember, took a tentative step forward, his tail drooping slightly. He sniffed the air cautiously, trying to discern any potential danger. With each small movement, Tilly's heart swelled with empathy. understanding that Ember's timidity stemmed from fear rather than malice. Sensing Ember's apprehension, Tilly's guardian, Toto, who had been observing from atop the oak tree, swooped down on a cloud and landed gracefully beside Tilly. "Little dragon, I bring greetings from the heart of the Whispering Woods," Toto said, his voice echoing with wisdom and kindness. With a gentle nod, Toto beckoned to Ember, inviting him closer. He pulled out a small, intricately woven basket from behind the oak tree. Inside nestled a soft, fluffy toy resembling a woodland creature. With a delicate flick of his wrist, Toto sent the toy fluttering through the air, causing it to twirl and dance around Ember in a playful display. The dragon's eyes widened with curiosity, and a faint smile touched his lips, easing some of his tension. Hesitantly, Ember approached the toy, his fear momentarily forgotten as he nudged it with his snout, sending it gliding through the air once again. As the game continued, Tilly watched with amusement, knowing that Toto's playful approach was a wise way to ease Ember's anxieties. Seeing the dragon's initial wariness slowly melt away into amusement and curiosity, Tilly's heart soared with hope. From his hiding spot among the oak tree's thick roots, one of the forest animals, a gray rabbit with fur as soft as dandelion fluff, peeked out curiously. Another animal, a wise old owl with feathers that shone like burnished gold, hooted softly, his amber eyes twinkling with amusement. They watched as Tilly and Toto engaged Ember in a delightful game, their hearts warmed by the tender moments of connection that unfolded before their eyes. "Hoot, hoot," the owl echoed, his voice a gentle rumble that reverberated through the forest. His words hung in the air, a testament to the profound impact of kindness and patience. The rabbit nodded, his nose twitching in agreement. As the forest animals witnessed Tilly and Toto's compassionate approach towards the timid dragon, their hearts swelled with admiration. They understood that true strength lay not in power, but in empathy and understanding. Taking a deep breath, Ember puffed out his chest, attempting to mimic the mighty roar he had heard from dragons in his dreams. But instead of a fearsome roar, a tiny squeak escaped his lips. A giggle escaped Tilly's lips, but she quickly composed herself, afraid she might hurt Ember's feelings. "That was a very impressive roar, Ember," she praised, her tone filled with genuine admiration. "Indeed, your courage shines brighter than the stars in the night sky," added Toto, his voice resonating with sincerity. Ember's ears perked up at their words, and a blush of crimson crept up his neck and under his chin. He took another deep breath, trying to summon the courage to attempt a mighty roar once again. As Ember prepared to try again, a chorus of cheers and applause erupted from the surrounding forest animals. Encouraged by their support, Ember let out a louder, more ferocious roar, though it was still quite a bit weaker than what he envisioned. The forest animals roared back softly, acknowledging Ember's effort. As the sun began its descent, casting long shadows across the Whispering Woods, Tilly knew it was time to present Ember with a special gift that symbolized his bravery. Reaching into her pocket, she pulled out a delicate firefly lantern adorned with intricate patterns that shimmered like starlight on water. "Ember," Tilly said, her voice soft yet resolute, "this lantern represents the inner strength and courage you possess. May it serve as a reminder that you can face any challenge with bravery and kindness." Ember's eyes widened with surprise and gratitude as he gazed at the firefly lantern. Its gentle glow seemed to mirror the flickering flame of his own spirit. He knew that Tilly and Toto were right. He didn't need to be the biggest or the strongest dragon. He just needed to be himself. Act 3, Celebration and Goodbye. Now that Ember was feeling braver, he decided to show Tilly and Toto how much he had improved. He took off into the air, swooping and diving through the trees, making small loops in the air as he went. His movements were graceful and magical to behold. Ember flew above the Whispering Woods, soaring high above the treetops as he reveled in the newfound confidence that coursed through his veins. The wind rushed through his scales, carrying with it the sweet scent of wildflowers and the melodies of the forest. Below him, the woods stretched out like a patchwork quilt, a tapestry of greens and browns interwoven with the sparkling threads of sunlight filtering through the canopy. As Ember continued his flight, the moon replaced the sun, bathing the whispering woods in a silvery glow. He flew towards a nearby lake, its surface as smooth and reflective as a polished mirror. And there, in the depths of the water, Ember saw a sight that made his heart soar. Gazing into the lake, he saw a magnificent dragon looking back at him, his amethyst scales shimmering like precious gems, his wings spread wide, ready to take flight. And in that moment, Ember realized that he was beautiful, that he was strong, and most importantly, that he was brave. As the moon climbed higher in the velvety night sky, casting its gentle glow upon the whispering woods, Tilly, Toto, and all the forest animals gathered together in a circle near the moss-covered stone. Their presence radiated warmth and acceptance, creating a bubble of friendship and camaraderie. Ember, feeling the love and support of his new friends, leaned against Toto, finding comfort in the dragon's unwavering companionship. The gray rabbit hopped closer, nuzzling against Ember's leg, while the wise old owl perched on a nearby branch, his amber eyes twinkling with affection. Ember purred softly, his heart overflowing with gratitude for the acceptance and kindness he had found in the whispering woods. And then, as if guided by an unseen hand, Ember's eyelids grew heavy and a gentle melody began to flow from his lips. It was a dragon lullaby, soft and lilting, weaving tales of bravery, friendship, and the magic that resided in their hearts. The forest animals nestled closer, their bodies forming a circle of warmth around Ember as they swayed gently to the rhythm of his song. When the first rays of dawn began to paint the eastern sky, a soft cloud appeared, its edges shimmering with a familiar emerald light. Toto, Tilly, and all the forest animals turned their heads towards the cloud, their eyes shining with understanding. It was time for Ember to return home, carrying with him the magic of the whispering woods. With a final wave of his tail, Ember leaped into the waiting cloud, his heart brimming with the joy of newfound friendships and the strength that bloomed within him. The cloud rose slowly, carrying Ember towards the distant mountains that marked his home, his laughter echoing softly through the whispering woods. As the cloud carrying Ember disappeared over the mountain peaks, Tilly's guardian, Toto, landed gracefully on the moss-covered stone. With a gentle nudge of his head, he indicated for Tilly to follow him. They walked together through the now awakening, whispering woods, the trees rustling their greetings in the morning breeze. Soon they were back in Tilly's room, the book lying open on her bed, its pages glowing softly. The whispering woods faded from view, leaving behind only the lingering echoes of magic and adventure. As Tilly tucked Toto into his favorite spot on her bookshelf, she whispered, "Thank you for coming on this adventure with me, Toto, and thank you for helping Ember find his courage." Toto smiled, his eyes twinkling. "The magic of the whispering woods lives in all of us, Tilly. You just have to believe in it." And with that, the book closed softly, the whispering woods fading into a world of dreams. And now comes the most important part, the whispered affirmation. You are brave. You are kind. You are loved. You are brave. You are kind. You are loved. Sleep well, little hero. Your adventure continues tomorrow.